Ms. Indrani Raja, Minister in the Prime Minister's Office, Second Minister for Finance, and Second Minister for National Development. Ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning. I'd like to first thank the ICMA for organizing this event in Singapore. For such a flagship global event to be held in Asia speaks volumes on the importance of this region in net zero transition. We heard a lot in the previous panel around transition. Globally, close to 150 countries have a net zero target, working out to about 92% of global GDP committed to net zero. As a region, Asia is growing faster than the rest of the world. The weight of Asia in global GDP continues to rise and is expected to reach about 40% by 2040. At the same time, half of global emissions come from Asia. One of the key challenges in Asia is balancing growth and prosperity for people and emissions reduction, which are sometimes at odds with each other. What is also clear is that more funding is needed in this part of the world. By 2030, US 16 trillion needs to be mobilized in Asia Pacific. The bond market, one of the world's largest capital markets, plays a crucial role in mobilizing capital towards decarbonization and net transition. This is evident from the development of industry efforts like the principles that have supported the accelerated growth of the green and sustainable bond markets. SGX Group, as the leading listing venue for international G3 currency bonds in APAC, has been ramping up our sustainable fixed income initiatives, including actively engaging and educating the market on green and sustainable bonds. Today, more than half of APAC's G3 currency, green, social, sustainability-linked bonds, or for short as we all call them, GSSS bonds, are listed on SGX. In the past year, GSSS bonds have grown to almost 20% of all bonds outstanding on SGX, majority of which adopts the principles. Notwithstanding the lower global bond issuance volumes due to macro conditions, it is noteworthy that Asian GSSS bonds, as a proportion of total Asian bond issuances, continues to inch upwards. The sustainable bond market, however, has to raise its growth trajectory and channel more funds to where it is urgently needed. That is, decarbonization and transition efforts. Much of such funding today is channeled to projects that are already green or sustainable. This needs to change in the Asian context, given that Asia's growth, its path is highly dependent on fossil fuels as an energy source. To effectively mobilize capital for transition, three elements are vital, which we heard from the panel earlier. One, frameworks that take into context companies' transition strategy, materiality, and effective governance. Second, science-based metrics and targets. And third, implementation transparency. Therefore, we welcome the principal's efforts to work with the industry to continuously update the Climate Transition Finance Handbook and the Sustainability-Linked Bond Principles. Such transition financing tools and guidance are essential and complementary to global transition initiatives. Initiatives such as the MAS Finance for Net Zero Plan, UK's Transition Plan Task Force, and GFAN's Financial Institutions Net Zero Transition Plan Framework and Governance. They all serve to support the collective ambition to catalyze decarbonization and net zero transition. Tools such as the principle also augment government and national taxonomy efforts, especially as taxonomy moves from conceptualization to implementation, and seek to provide guidance around how sustainable and transition activities are classified. As an international multi-asset exchange at the center of the market ecosystem, SGX Group plays a key role in facilitating the flow of capital towards transition. Increasingly, bond issuer level information is becoming more important as investors and financiers take a closer look at company-level transition plans and actions. As such, disclosure and data will have to be at the bedrock of transition financing. Harmonization of disclosure standard efforts, such as ISSB, Sustainability Standards Board's inaugural Global Sustainability and Climate Disclosure Standards, will support a common language that is essential for capital markets. On SGX's part, we strive to ensure that disclosures and data are reliable, consistent, and comparable. On disclosures, our Sustainable Fixed Income Initiative provides confidence that fixed income securities recognized by SGX meet criteria for green, social, or sustainability fixed income securities under international standards and reporting requirements, such as the principles, and have been independently verified. We've also mandated sustainability reporting for SGX-listed companies since 2016. Last year, we introduced a phased approach to mandatory climate reporting based on TCFD's recommendations. We will look into incorporating the ISSB standards into our listing rules as mandatory disclosure requirements for our listed companies. In preparation for this process, SGX RegCo has set up a Sustainability Reporting Advisory Committee together with Singapore's Accounting and Corporate Regulatory Authority. The committee comprises all our major stakeholders to ensure a smooth and practical implementation tailored to our market. On data, yesterday, SGX and MAS announced our collaboration with the Climate Data Steering Committee to strengthen global access to climate transition-related data. ES Genome, a digital portal launched by SGX and MAS for sustainability reporting, will allow reporting companies to transmit their Scope 1, 2, and 3 greenhouse gas emissions data to CDSC's Net Zero Data Public Utility. Work is underway to extend ES Genome's capabilities to support disclosures by the broader corporate universe, notably small and medium-sized enterprises. This collaboration is a significant step towards allocating public and private capital towards financing transitions. As you can see, these are not standalone achievements. Many of these initiatives involve industry collaborations, ecosystem engagement, and capacity developments. By sitting at the center of the financial ecosystem, SGX is in a unique position to promote partnership and education in the implementation and adoption of regulations and solutions. The journey ahead will be complex, especially in APAC, which is diverse in economic, environmental, social goals, and transition progress. SGX will continue to proactively engage in regional and global conversations to drive collaboration. One example is through GFAN, the Glasgow Financial Alliance for Net Zero. As one of the founding signatories of the Net Zero Financial Services Providers Alliance, we have anchored the setup of the GFAN APAC Network Central Office at our premises. We hope to enhance coordination across financial institutions and service providers, as well as engage with policymakers and standard setters. All of us here play a role in the road ahead to have an inclusive and net zero transition. By adopting a multi-stakeholder approach with a collaborative mindset, Asia can promote sustainable development, attract investments, and make a meaningful contribution to the global transition. Once again, thank you, and may I wish all of you a fruitful conference ahead. Thank you very much.